happening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam and this is Vancity Audi. We're back at the one and only Titanium Strip Mission Raceway Park for the very final test and tune of 2022. Holy crap, has this year flown by. I'm here today to see how quick and how fast my B9 S4 can go. If you watched my last video, you saw that we installed the APR high pressure fuel pump, the TTE 4-bar map sensors, as well as brand new OEM RS7 injectors. That enables me to run Integrated Engineering's Stage 3 Plus Injectors E70 file, making so much more horsepower and so much more torque. But that's not what I'm running today. Sadly, my ECU is freaking locked. So let me explain to you how that happened as quickly as I can. I beta test software just like a bunch of other people out there for many different companies. IE sends me calibrations, I beta test it, send them logs, they do a bunch of revisions, send it back, bunch of revisions, just like they do a whole slew of us to get their software as good as they possibly can. What ended up happening though is I spent so much time data logging and flashing, I've reached that 100 count. I've flashed my ECU 100 freaking times, and now it's locked. IE is well aware of the situation. They've already said that they've figured out a fix, but for today, I'm stuck on 93 octane. So not the same file that I was before though. Before I was on a stage 3 93, meaning I had no fueling upgrades. I was maxed out at about an E10 level, so they didn't want me blending any additional ethanol into my pump gas because the fuel system was at like 90 to 95%. Now, with those three pieces of hardware, the APR high pressure fuel pump, the TTE 4-bar map sensors, and those RS7 injectors, I'm running an E20 blend, just like I've always done on all the other blends previous. I want to get the most out of my car. So I am using a 93 octane tune, but an E20 blend for fuel. I've data logged the hell out of this, and the fuel system is handling this with ease with that APR high pressure fuel pump and the additional injectors installed. So I'll go over quickly what the car looks like with those parts installed, and then we'll get to drag racing and see if I can better my time of a 10.8 at 125 in much cooler DA and much cooler temperatures on that stage 3 file with this TTE710 now that I'm upgraded to the stage 3 Plus with injectors. Let's start at the back and work our way forward, shall we? We have Integrated Engineering mid pipes tucked way down there. This beast of an Integrated Engineering down pipe leading into the piece de resistance, this TTE710 hybrid turbo, and boy have I loved it thus far. We have an Integrated Engineering turbo inlet. We have an Integrated Engineering air intake system. We have an Integrated Engineering intercooler. As for the brakes, wheels, and tires, we're using DR2 Hoosier tires mounted on Enkei RPF 1s, as well as B9 A4 downgraded calipers and rotors. And lastly, I have an additional 180 pounds of weight reduction by removing the front passenger seat, the rear passenger seat, and the trunk contents. Heading out for my first runs of the day. It's 72 degrees Fahrenheit and 850 DA. Oh, chatter of the tires. Chatter of the tires. See if we can go quick though. I don't know about that. Definitely not as much heat in the tires as last time out. It's significantly cooler. I wonder if I'm going to be able to build as much boost today on launch and still be able to hook as well. Woo, it's already getting hot. According to Draggy, my car is significantly faster than it was before. 0 to 60 of the quickest I have ever gone in this car, even with spinning all 4 tires. I managed a 2.85 seconds 0 to 60. It's boogieing already. Quarter mile shows on Draggy of a 10.79. I've never run a 10.7 in this car before. So we'll see how accurate this is once I pick up the time slip. Hell to the freaking yes. A 10.79. Draggy was accurate for once in my life at 126.7 miles an hour. By far the fastest I've ever gone, as well as the quickest. My 60 foot as well being the quickest, even though I spun at a 1.542. So it's gonna get hotter today, it's gonna get toastier today, but if I can get out there again and do another run before it gets much hotter, you never know, I might be able to go even quicker. Time for run number 2. That was a pretty damn good result, if I do say so myself. A 10.7 at 126 on pump gas. Pretty excited about that. Now I did spin off launch, so I know my 60 foot suffered. I know the run overall could have been better, so let's see if I can hook a bit better. It's a bit warmer out now, the DA is a little higher, but if I can hook a bit better, I might be able to do a bit quicker and a bit faster of a run. So with any luck, I'll get to race the guy beside me. He is dialed in at a 10.74. I just ran a 10.79. So I might as well try to race him. I probably won't beat my personal best because I probably won't be able to build as much boost off of the tree, but I'll try my best. Oh no! Damn it! There's a launch control time! I was on it too long! Totally my bad! Oh, that's terrible! There's a launch control timeout on this car. I didn't know that. I've never experienced it before. Just got my ass handed to me because I don't even know how my car works. Wow, what a dumbass. I ruined that race, but thank goodness it didn't really matter anyways. I stopped by and I talked to the gentleman afterwards. That dial-in of 10.74 was from his last race. He spiced it up a bit more and his new dial-in is 10.2, so I never stood a chance to begin with. But very interesting, and I did not know that about my B9. I don't know if you guys know that. There is a timeout on your launch control. I don't know how many seconds that was, but that's by far the longest I've ever held it. I got on once I had staged because I need a lot of time to build boost in this thing, and if they would have clicked the button right away and that countdown would have started, I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough boost and be ready to go once it hits green. But what I ended up doing is just staying on it way too long. It crapped out and I ran an 11.6 at 125. My 60 foot was a 2.11. That gentleman ran a 10.3 at 126. Very interesting though. He runs 3 or 4 tenths quicker than I do, but pretty much the same mile per hour. It's pretty cool to see the differences in different cars and the way they work. His 60 foot was a 1.35, just ripped right off the line. But that's run number 2. I screwed that one up. I'll let it cool down. It's gonna get a bit hotter, but I'll try to squeeze one more run in before I have to go today and see if I can go any quicker. Highly doubtful, but I'll try my best. Time for the third and final run of the day. It is like an hour and 45 minutes later. There were a ton of delays on track. So it's 82 degrees Fahrenheit and 1550 for a DA. I do not expect to go quicker or faster, but I'm gonna see if I can anyways. Oh, he red lit, so I automatically win. Wonder how slow that one was. Heat soak galore, but a pretty decent launch, I think. I'm so thankful that's done. The car was heat soaked. It is hotter out here. Definitely didn't feel as fast up top. The launch was a 2.950 to 60, so still in the 2s, just not as quick as my run earlier in the day when it was much cooler and the density altitude was much lower. According to Draggy, it says a 10.84, so not as quick as the first run, but let's grab the time slip to find out exactly how quickly I ran. So I was right, that launch felt really good, and that's because that is my quickest 60 foot I've ever accomplished in my B9 of a 1.525. 1.52 60 foot. That's freaking badass. But I definitely wasn't making as much power up top. I managed a 10.81 at 125.71. So not nearly as quick as that first run. Technically, if we were bracket racing, I would have won that race because he red lit and my reaction time was 0.230, which still sucks, but I'm definitely not a bracket racer. I'm just trying to go as quickly and as fast as I possibly can every time down the track. That's it, guys. A new personal best of a 10.7 at 126 using 93 octane file with IE's Stage 3 Plus with Injectors file on my B9S4. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video though, guys, I had no intention of running 93 octane until the off season, and I could show you guys what it can do full weight and weight reduce, just so everyone has comparative numbers to go against what I'm able to do with an E70 file, which is what I was supposed to be running right now. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I can't run E70 right now because my ECU is locked. But that's not gonna last for very long, because I'm filming this the day before I leave for Woodburn, Oregon to participate in the Pacific Waterland Car Show and drag races. I put out a challenge on Facebook to anyone that would like to race me in my B9S4, and what do you know? Another YouTuber said yes. It's pronounced VAG, or VAG as I like to call it. Adam and Jeremy said, let's do this. Let's have some freaking fun. They have tested a bunch of different tunes, a bunch of different stuff on their B9S4, and they said, let's race. Now they're at an E70 integrated engineering Stage 3 Plus with injector file already. So I'm gonna be running the exact same tune as they are. I do have some advantages. I have some weight reduction. I'm using drag radials, so I definitely have an advantage. But it's not about who wins. It's about just having fun. The spirit of drag racing should have always been about having fun. That's always been my mentality. So Jeremy and Adam are gonna meet me down there, and we're gonna go heads up and have some fun with our cars. I don't know that they've ever tested that file yet, so we might both be at the same disadvantage of having to learn how the car drives with that setup. I got to figure out how the car launches on that track. I think they have better track prep than we do, so my car is going to be able to take a bit more on launch perhaps. I'm not too sure, but we're going to have fun while doing it. So a 6.5 hour drive tomorrow morning all the way south from Vancouver, BC, Canada to Woodburn, Oregon, so I get to race them, have some serious fun with It's Pronounced VAG. You get to see them up close and personal in my next video though, so until then guys, take care.